Hello Pisces, it's Jenny Fitterer here. I am here with your March Tarotscope. I have a single card for you for the month of March. The first 2/3 of the month is Pisces season, so happy birthday to all of you with birthdays in March. And then we will have the March equinox, and that will commence Aries season. So that's astrologically what's happening this month. And the card that I have for you today is the Eight of Swords reversed. So this is the way that it looks the right way up. So we have this woman here, and she's kind of cradling something in her arms, but in front of that something is this big butterfly. Then we have all of these swords kind of along the side and this big castle in the sky. And there's lots of blues and kind of clouds or bubble sort of shapes around the edges. So that's the way it came out. And I've got it already here. So we've got the Eight of Swords for you this month, Pisces. Here we go. Eight of Swords. Expanded consciousness. Spiritual life connects heaven and earth. All conscious thought and knowledge has a spiritual dimension that helps us to recognize our own limitations and sense a reality that is much greater than ourselves. The central figure in the picture is hidden by a butterfly, but her pose suggests that she is holding a child in her arms. Children symbolize everything that goes beyond our earthly existence, our offspring and our metaphorical spiritual children, representing new truths and realities. Beyond the boundaries of the ego lies eternal life, which is represented by the heavenly city above the figure. In this instance, eternity is but another term for purposefully lived uniqueness. This card is all about saying farewell to castles in the sky and childish inhibitions. Free yourself from all dependencies. The city or castle in the background symbolizes parental powers. Parents can influence you even from afar in a kind of remote control operating through the air element of the mind. Come into contact with your own emotional basis, with your own inner child, and with all that you want to contribute to the world. In many situations, this card should encourage you to withdraw for a while, retreat or hide in a self-made cocoon like a caterpillar, in order to get in touch with yourself and to generate new and original thoughts. Become the master of your life and the center of your world. Always remain in harmony with yourself. You will become comfortable and relaxed in everyday life when you reestablish your own way of thinking, acting, and desiring. Practical advice. Verna Springer said, "There are thoughts you cannot comprehend unless you change your life. But the opposite is also true. There are changes in your life that cannot be realized unless you comprehend your thoughts." Okay, Pisces, so this one feels really good for this month for you in particular. So starting even with the first sentence here, it talks about spiritual life connecting heaven and earth. And Pisces as a sign, so already Pisces, you in your life may exemplify this quality, but also seasonally, because this first 2/3 of March is Pisces season. Pisces is the bridge between heaven and earth. It's the 12th sign of the zodiac. So we've gone through this whole big story. It's this bridge between the last cycle and then about to start a new cycle. And Pisces has this quality of like surrendering from this earthly plane back into the spiritual world, ready for this sort of the kind of reincarnation idea of the soul surrenders itself back into the ether in order to be able to be birthed again in Aries season, which is this bright new spark and this new birth of a new cycle. So this season already has this sort of feeling of being the bridge between the spiritual realm and the earthly realm, because we as beings are earthly physical beings and we are spiritual beings. So we embody both of those qualities, and Pisces kind of embodies that more than most, and also embodies the sense of the messages between heaven and earth. So Pisces season already has this feeling of potentially being able to connect with the divine realms, sometimes through the dream world, or through sort of divinatory practices, or just being in that more intuitive state and kind of getting more of those downloads. So we're sort of already suggesting this card is like really wanting to work on that connection. It also talks about children, or this offspring, and this doesn't have to be a literal child. It's talking, like it says, the metaphorical spiritual children, is a new birth, is a new possibility and a new reality. And that really ties well with this season of rolling from Pisces season into Aries, because Aries is the new birth, is the new baby, is the spark, the new idea, the new life, the new possibility that comes out of this whole kind of cosmic essence where Pisces is surrendering into. So there's this card is really kind of emphasizing this season. And for you, because you have your birthdays in this season, or because Pisces, you are right on that edge of the end of the old energetic year into the new, that's sort of that might be something that you feel in your life already, but just amplified at this time. And because it's your birthday and that kind of season of, it's very normal to reflect on the year that's passed and prepare for the year that's coming ahead. So we're just it's all stacking up, and it's all kind of lining up that this is a really good time for you to be doing this sort of bridging of the spiritual and that sort of cosmic sense of things in order to have that energy to birth something new. And so even this card suggesting it might be time to withdraw or cocoon a little, to like not spread yourself so thin, because it is that preparation for a birth. When you think about somebody who's pregnant, she's all of her energy is being used to make this new being. You're not going to call up your pregnant friends and be like, hey, I really need help moving, or like, hey, I've really got this massively stressful thing I want some assistance with. You're like, no, you respect that their energy is really being required for the preparation of a new life. And so you don't have to be literally pregnant in order to go into a sort of gestational period and prepare for something new that wants to be seen. So this card is really saying, like, that's fine if that's where you're at. It can be Pisces. You might have that tendency to want to kind of help other people, or like feeling really sensitive to the needs of others. And so it's kind of sometimes easier to try to fix other people's problems than it is to just put up, like, retreat and just say, okay, your problems are yours, and I respect that, and I do love you, and I have compassion for you, but I don't actually have the energy right now to reach out and try to help you, because I've got something that I need to work on myself, and I really need to help myself with this. So this card is really suggesting that you honor that, to be the master in the center of your life instead of trying to spread out and do things for everybody else, to have this period of retreat and cocooning, to really connect in with either your spiritual practices or just bringing that energy into, if you've got a new idea or you've got a new value or a new reality that wants to birth itself, you need the energy to kind of cook it up in there. So that's sort of likely what's going to be happening in that first 2/3 of March, is really that connecting both with whatever sort of metaphorical child you might be wanting to produce, but also yourself as a child, this rebirthing of yourself as well. This card is talking about coming into contact with that inner child as well, which is part of this process. So there's really lots of themes about infancy, and that is part of this cycle of regeneration, includes that child or infancy. So that's going to be the first 2/3 of the month, is really encouraging you to focus in on this inner world, this inner kind of peace and calm and cocooning. And then we have March equinox, and then that's going to be the tipping point. Equinox is, of course, the time where the light is equal night and day, and because it is that equality of the rotation, or of the axis, the tilt of the axis of the Earth, that's going to be the same whether you're north and south. Everybody's going to have that equinox, and then that commences Aries season, and that really does feel like the birthing. So equinox for March equinox has that sort of labor and delivery feel of birthing the new energetic year. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and that is this whatever it is that wants to be seen or come out. That might be you. You might be like, I'm birthing a new me. I've got whatever your plans are, and that you've taken that time to kind of retreat and fill into yourself, to then step back out in a new sort of sense of yourself. It doesn't have to be a drastic change, but just a stronger sense of like, I'm feeling fresh. I'm willing to try things and see things from a new perspective, just like an infant is experiencing things for the first time, willing to be vulnerable and ask for help as well. Infancy is a very vulnerable time, and we know that it is good and right to need help when you're in a vulnerable beginner stage. And so maybe that is birthing this new sense of asking for help as well, and not needing to be the one who has it all together. Whatever it might be, Aries season marks this fresh new start. It's got the spark of life. It's a fire season, so there's a lot of energy that'll be popping off that way. So that's what's coming up for you this March, Pisces. So again, if you've got your birthdays this month, happy birthday to you all. And for all of you, I wish you all the best as you kind of go into this cocoon state and prepare for whatever wants to kind of be birthed out in the energetic new year. If you are wanting some additional support, of course, the Pisces season workshop is up and available on the YouTube channel. That's going to just give you a bit more info on the transits that are happening up until equinox. and that is, of course, Pay What You Can. So that'll be up and available when you view this. So thank you very much. I hope that that's really helpful for you. I hope that this was helpful for you. Best of luck this March. Take care, Pisces.